sorry, a three-way tie, 3-4, Polar Vortex coming up right behind at a 2-5 as well. So it is really anybody's race for those last two spots, and we'll see if EKC feels like griefing a little bit, and maybe just going out with a couple more bangs.
I mean, you gotta try. As much as they're probably like, yo, we respect this team so much, you know, I played with them a lot, love these guys. Yeah, we're gonna try to win because that's how competition works, which is totally fair. And we got Tempo Swing, we got Monumentalist on the app, which is kind of go big or go home here with some of this Monumentalist that we do see Katsuna and Soren picking up on their Amy and Rune, making things a little bit crazy. Getting the ball over to NXZD. Katsuna helping out quite nicely to grab that first point there for EKC, looking good as a start. Tempo Swing on everyone on HMG and a Vamp Race for Snake. I'm interested to see how the Vamp Race works out. They are definitely running the Super Omega Kill You right in the face comp, and EKC kind of, you know, they got damage, but it ain't HMG damage.
That is true, and I have seen a lot of the Vamp Race be picked up recently as a core slides in. Somehow, I think maybe Luna may have left the building a little too soon. But the Vamp Race X, that is something that's been very popular recently. It feels like he is just capable of eating so many resources. No matter how much damage you put into him, he just one Bellbringer, one Bull Rush, one X Maximus, he's full HP again, and you're down like 5 abilities, it feels like.
Yeah, definitely has the ability to tank all that stuff. X kind of just standing on the goalie sometimes has always been a pretty solid... Oh, wow, love that pass on up there to NXCD with the help of that glitch pop. X has always been able to take like a good amount of pain, and having the strategy of kind of standing on the goalie, doing some good damage, sort of gets countered by the opposing team being like, okay, let's all just kill the X real quick, we'll just clear him out. Having the Vamp Race kind of can keep you alive while you just keep punching the goalie, which is pretty cool, as Katsuna takes the first Awakening.
We'll see what he's got. I'm noticeably looking at that Adrenaline Rush, which Katsuna has opted out of, and that does mean that Milkman will pick it up, and that is possibly the start of a very scary Vice build if some damage can fall on. But there's just so much damage in this Missile Prop Deadeye. Like, I think we're going to see both these teams start violently beating each other just to death. Round on round on round, and I think it's really going to come down to which team can just survive a little bit longer and make, you know, just make those tough decisions to survive. Playing at damage is hard. It really is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Snake kind of playing into the damage right now is level 1 after the first set, which is like EKC doing their job so hard. NXCD grabbing a kill there, Soren moving up as far as possible. Katsuna going for an extra angle, gets the Shadow Swap killer as well to reinforce it and scores. The EKC is making quick work of these barriers, of these points, while HMG, I mean, they got some good awakenings right there. Luna like multiplies her damage so hard when she gets things like Missile Prop, and she was sort of undeniable in that draft, but I mean, Snake can't help, and this one Missile Prop might not be enough. Milkman did grab Adrenaline Rush as well, which is crazy. But look, the barrier is down again. NXCD and Katsuna are just in sync, and once again, beautiful banish right onto Milkman. Even in the goalie arc, it's long enough for them to score that goal. And, I mean, EKC is looking to make this the quickest set ever. I can go get Wendy's in the middle of the draft, bro.
Probably, and they have showed up. They are here to remind us that, you know, maybe a rough season for them, but they are still EKC. And I feel like this is a pretty standard EKC comp in terms of like just the longevity. I think NXCD on the Zentaro, you know, he's known for it. Also going to be taking a little trip. We'll see if HMG can capitalize off that. But right now, it doesn't seem like there's a lot to do with Katsuna and Soren. Not under too much pressure.
Yep, trying to turn it back onto Snake here, though, who's standing on Soren for quite a while. Ooh, extra speed there from Soren. That was actually from the fire-up, which allowed them to escape the Crater Maker. Perfect timing as they're working on this final goal here, dealing damage and getting another kill and getting the goal. Josh could not help defend there either, was completely shattered. I mean, EKC, second set already. Snake also still just level 2. Almost the entirety of EKC is level 4 here, and Katsuna with this Monumentalist is going to be credited the MVP for this set as well. It could be that these monumental creations are actually just taking these barriers too hard.
It could be opting into the recovery drone just to give yourself a little bit of an extra life. And this is, again, another draft that doesn't have... It kind of feels bad. Luna's opted to deny the Vice, or maybe the Amy. It's probably the Amy. It's denying the Amy, the heavy impact, but she still gets Stinger anyways. And I'm looking at it, and I think like EKC, their draft just got really strong. They're really hard to kill. They've already got the damage needed to kill themselves, right? Like they're finding the damage onto, well, both forwards. Josh incredibly low. Snake not as low. Well, not low at all actually. Vambrace healing has come in. That's a rough draft for EKC or for HMG.
Yeah, not getting all that much. The spark onto Snake, we'll see. We love scaling, but I mean, X is already trying his best to scale and having a really tough time. So the spark might be a little bit slow, but they grab another kill, sending Josh on off of the map. Now Snake taking at the front lines here, has a flip, but okay, I was gonna say that the sentry blocked it long enough for Soren to get back there, but actually was able to find an angle to score that one, but doesn't even get enough experience to hit level 3. Snake needs to start punching things that might be also the ball. But I'd say the EKC is doing a really good job of keeping the ball away from Snake, or just kind of getting them out of the play. X Maximus to try to make something happen on NXCD. Soren ends up losing the barrier in the process. Milkman banished, and now we have Katsuna gone. Soren going to try to land this one with NXCD. Not going to stay. Going to eject themselves right back. Josh probably has some cooldowns. Yeah, uses it, but Soren's great strike there completely foils that one. NXCD might be able to move up here with that flip. Stunned by Luna, though. Snake also looking low. Flips into the sentry. I'm sure there was an idea there, but I couldn't see it because I'm blind. Josh sending over the whammy, trying to get Katsuna out of this game. Soren not having to flip just yet, and gosh, can they land it? They do finally get it. Snake stuffs that flip, making level 3. Huge for Snake, level 3. This could be the scaling that they were looking for.
HMG does need to close this set out if they want a real, well, any chance at taking this game. They do have the builds to kind of start getting online. Vice, Luna, X, right? They've got the ad rush. They just need a little bit of damage to help push them over and to start claiming some kills. Maybe a spark. It still is one more left, but a ton of damage being piled onto Snake again. And Milkman forced to burn his flip on the defense.
Yep, good angle. I like that one to get it right on through. NXCD and Katsuna, though, are pretty fast, actually. Right now, we do have Rune kind of teleporting all over the place. The ball is kind of going in, but we got Milkman here with the Thunder Strike to get on back. Once again, a slain X there. Snake cannot find it. Oh my gosh, okay, blasting it into the anomaly. That was a really great placement there from Katsuna to hold the line. Trying to make it through. Incoming Crater Maker with the assistance of the Glitch Pop. They might be able to get it. Snake has returned to the board, though. We got the Firewall Sentry, but Josh is doing a good job of foiling that one, similar as you would the Water Cannon on Inkies. Sending it back down here to Soren. Katsuna is now finally looking a little bit low, and this is HMG's chance.
Yeah, and it is looking a little scary for EKC. Soren forced to kind of 1v2 on the defense. A good clear, and unfortunately not able to capitalize. And Soren finally loses his barrier, and Josh walks up with the flip. Supernova's not going to get anything quite yet. But Katsuna has a ton of HP missing, and that means that HMG could just kill him and score, 2v1.
Could. Sets up the double anomaly with the banish. Josh whiffs the boost. Now completely 2v1 here is Milkman. Flips on the top side. And a 2v1 not even required for a flip that close. Well played there from EKC to get it on through. I'm simply noticing that these boosts aren't working out as much as Josh would like them to. As if you whiff, you are certainly just out of the play for kind of just too long, allowing your goalie to get 2v1. So it could be these boosts that need a minor readjustment.
Could be, but you know what? They've gone ahead and claimed the first barrier, and they've been here before. Milkman's got a flip to work with on this defense. Ton of damage on the Snake there. I think he'll be okay. Almost bull rushing himself into the pillar and dying, and he's been taken off the field, and now we have the 3v2 power play for EKC, and a banish means that the barrier has fallen as well.
Yeah, huge banish there from Katsuna, easily scoring them. That barrier. Milkman trying to get it over to Josh. Maybe a boost to help put a lot of pressure onto Soren. They're going to go to the other side. Switching sides so quickly there with double teleport. Loads up the Supernova. Whammy hitting it as well. Incoming Sentry. And NXCD got the coverage with that rush there. Getting it through Milkman. Kind of an easy task for EKC right now. They're looking super good. You can even see the speed there from Fire Up in those situations. 50% for 6 seconds. That's kind of good. I don't know if we chat a little better last time. That's pretty good.
I am a big believer in fire up at the moment if you can get the value, but there is no fire up needed here as again HMG claiming their first barrier at the cost of Snake's life. If they can survive, it will be possibly good, but surviving is going to be difficult. They do manage to do it for a moment, but alas, Soren with the eject and the rush comes out, passive strike. It's too much. Good defense from HMG, but unfortunately just not able to actually get a clear out.
I mean, EKC was actually living in the Matrix that game. Like, that was that. The ones became zeros at their whim. Like, they literally rewrote that whole game and just made themselves win. That was quick, 10-minute clean game from EKC. Only 2 goals from HMG. EKC, wow. Where was this EKC a little bit earlier in the season? They are ready to play now, at least, and crushing that one. Getting a couple of kills there as well, only leaving Josh with 2. I mean, they kind of just ran the board the whole time. Even the strikes. Oh, man. Snake could simply not hit the ball. Snake could not hit the ball. 36 strikes is a number seen. Is a number seen by the people, but that's okay. You got your best of 3s here. We're going to see another game where Snake is going to hit the ball, possibly the enemies, and maybe find 20 kills next game. So hopefully we see that one, right, Swap? We don't want to be seeing 36 redirects in 10 minutes, right? I mean, right?
No, I agree. I think next game there is time to figure something out. I will say playing X into that team comp, Amy, Rune, Zentaro is brutal even with fan brace. You just get your teeth kicked in. You get curb stomped. It's brutal. He did actually have pretty good conversions. You know, those 36 touches, 2 goals. There is something to be said about that. But regardless, it is really, really rough. And I think the only way... It didn't really feel like there was enough damage and KO potential or being found to really make the X pick work as well as you probably would have liked, especially whenever you lock the Luna and the Vice behind it, which is just one DPS, and then like find a KO and then find a power play.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I mean, X, you know, when he gets right on top of you, pretty good. But all 3 players, all 3 characters on the opposing team are actually quite slippery, pretty evasive. They all got teleports to get the heck out of there, and can't really hold them down, especially when you're trying to fight the Rune. You get kind of banished, and NXDD is ready with that slice. And I mean, there was a nice clean kill. Katsuna didn't even have the double anomaly, just one, and NXDD got that perfect stun there to get Snake off the board. So well played there from EKC. Perhaps we shall see another well played game as we move it on over to the map that everyone loves the most, possibly Night Marketon. Oh yeah, Fwop, Night Market thoughts.
Well, I don't know if I'd say everybody's favorite map is Night Market. I know there's some. Social Flux likes it, so I kind of like it, I guess. But it's been around. I'd be down for anything else. But you know, at least it's a map that is, you know, well versed, you know, well practiced. I think there's a lot of potential, a lot of different comps that can come out. And I'm really curious, actually. I imagine this is HMG's map. If I had to guess, I'm not positive on that.
Yeah, I can't say for sure, but I do agree that we have hours. We have hours on Night Market. That you could almost say that map is solved, but this game is so hard. This game, the variance of being able to strike the ball in infinite angles, basically. I guess not truly infinite, but like almost infinite angles is like, wow. What could truly be solved about this game? Sometimes, you know, you see people flipping the ball and hitting like the center on purpose to get like kind of like the drum angle from Tycho. Those are some of like the solved plays in my opinion, but it is quite hard. There's no behind the back on this map, but we could be seeing X again. Like X is like okay here. He's got the speed gate to really just get him around the map. Same with Juliet, like not a whole lot of mobility, but the speed gate really changes the game when you get to just kind of fly right into the opponent's face. As we started up on here, we got OIA, our Omega Infused Accelerator, with the Demolitionist. Kind of, man, OIA, it's so interesting as it just like it reduces you to nothing, but it's a lot of speed, bro. We might be seeing a lot of that on this map. You could live here.
Yeah, I'm a fan of OIA starts. Notably OIA starts where you could actually pick the Awakening. You know, you think like OIA and you see like a Stinger and it's like, well, you can't really pick OIA into that, you know, like, or OIA Deadeye, you can't pick OIA into that. But OIA Demo, that's something that like you can actually pick OIA into. And probably find decent success. We'll see what the picks are. I imagine we're going to be seeing probably another X. We might see some Asher Julie with the demo. Those size brawlers that really just like to get in your face and kind of size stack on you. They don't always need the speed to make plays, but they could also just opt out of demo and go the speed anyways. It really comes down to personal preference.
And we see a Drakkar as the first ban here for EKC. Gonna not let anyone play that one. Snake maybe the one to play that kind of brawler Drakkar sometimes, or even maybe Milkman might be hitting that one. But banned out of here. Drakkar got a little bit of changes there. I think the Xenocloak now lasts a little bit longer. He got some changes to make it so he doesn't just kill you off the map as easily with his combo. So he's a little bit more of maybe ball-centric gameplay. I mean, him being invisible longer is actually maddening sometimes, bro. He's invisible just... Oh man, it's good. He's good. But and also Amy is going to be totally banned from HMG. No Soren allowed. What's next?
I'm curious what HMG's feeling, because you know they've got the Kai, which is actually what has been locked in, especially on an OIA start. I think that's going to get a lot of value here if Kai can survive, but EKC is a pretty known damage team, so you know he'll also be it'll be a bit of a challenge for him to survive if he's not careful. And then on top of that, we've also got other backline options. It's actually going to be the Rasmus picked. Could be Snake Rasmus. It could also be a Milkman Rasmus. I don't know off the top of my head.
Interesting. We got Rune showing up once again. Loving the Rune here. Looks like Katsuna getting some good work. Although we do have Luna maybe here for Soren. And we have our Zentaro again. Zentaro, a surprisingly popular pick here in this current season, in fact. Seeing a lot of that coming up, but pretty good teams so far. They do have the classic banish you into the pillar stun into the Crater Maker combo. Gosh, dude, we love that. You gotta get your evades ready, and we'll just be eating up all of that energy. And yeah, like you said before, Asher on the board with that Demolitionist. It's gonna be big, it's gonna be annoying, and it's gonna be right up in your face here. Most likely gonna be on for Snake.
Yeah, I'm a little curious to see. I feel like this is really gonna be... Well, I don't know. It kind of depends on who is the goalie on HMG. If this is Rasmus goalie, it plays a little differently from like Asher goalie. I think like Rasmus can be allowed to sit up front and kind of be his own threat, right? Like he's got that solo scoring potential. He's got that playmaking built into his kit. So it kind of allows the Asher and the Kai to kind of play a bit more passively, just kind of like dominate the midfield, don't like rush any interactions, just let Rasmus win eventually. Or if that's an Asher forward, that means that we might actually start needing to see the like the triple offense, getting because Asher needs a bit of help. Like she needs some help to set up. She kind of sucks at doing it herself. But whenever she does get set up, you have really, really strong offense, and the back line of EKC doesn't have a good way of dealing with it.
Yeah, I'd say that Asher is actually pretty solid at dealing with just about everything that EKC has right now. I'd say her primary is actually good against Pillar, kind of stops the ball, gives you a second to react. I mean, what could you say other than Asher's primary will be beating all of these characters' primaries if stuffed in a corner situation. And Kai, one of the better characters to really get around the map and have that kind of agency over the core to give it right into Asher in that corner. Path splitter your face off. So it's really going to be... I think it's going to be a similar situation as last game. Really trying to keep the ball away from that X, and you're going to try to have to go switch lanes a lot to keep the ball away from this Asher, who's going to be trying to stand in that speed gate. So that's the beauty of Night Market, right? Keep the ball away from Asher. Oh, she's standing in the speed gate. Let's back pass even more. So make sure you're on board of that one, because once she gets in the corner, like we're saying, it is going to be a rough one. I estimate we'll see a Rasmus goalie for sure here, but I'm a noob, so Let's get some double forward here. I don't know.
I'm down for anything. Put the Kai in the net. Why not? I like it.
Get him in
We'll see for the side of EKC. we've kind of got basically what I think everybody expected with Katsuna on the rune. I think Soren said something about he could have played any of these characters, but we all knew realistically it was probably the Katsuna rune. Katsuna's looked really good on it this season, especially recently. I think it's definitely looked a lot better. And then for the flip side, as soon as we load in, that is Milkman on the on the Rasmus, which means that we are going to see a bit more of that offense come through, where like the Asher and the Kai try to get in the corner, get the pass splitters set up, and then they just like stuff through this Luna, who's got no way of beating it. But the barrage is looking great already.
Oh, almost instantly scores their Snake with that angle. Wow, Josh with the speed. Man, they make quick work of that one. Instantly, frame one, HMG slams that double on the map. I mean, you saw it. Josh ran forward, blazing speed, grabbed the speed gate, and barraged the brains out of that core. And it's really tough to get a lot of barrage sometimes. Honestly, I would say that Asher and Kai are both really good at pushing the ball directly forward sometimes. It's hard to get it out of the barrage, hard to get it out of that barrier beam sometimes. Oh, love that one from NXCD, taking both barriers there with the assistance of that passive, giving some mobility. Now Soren taking the speed gate. Okay, actually ends up bailing there to allow Katsuna and NXCD to work. Wow, blows their brains out with that flip there. NXCD getting a lot of value there. Josh looking at just about nothing, gonna activate the speed gate and let Milkman try to work, but NXCD wins that big strike war there right in the goal, turning the tables immediately and evening up this game.
Yeah, and something to note is nobody on HMG is opted into the OIA, all opting into that size. And, for Rasmus and Asher, that makes sense. You're probably not too shocked by that. But Kai is a character that can kind of go either. The size is quite nice for dominating midfield strike wars. But that does mean that Soren and Katsuna with that OIA can just kind of control the midfield should they decide to do so.
Insanely well played there. Great flip from Milkman. Finds an angle to actually solo these barriers. A banish there from Katsuna is going to do a lot of damage to Josh, while Milkman is being assaulted here from NXCD and Soren on the back end here, though Josh finds a way to get past half, completely unshattered. Now the barrage, yeah, difficult situation. Sometimes you got to wait, you got to react to that barrage. Whoa, love that one, causing the flip there with the Giga, and the pressure from Snake is going to path split, but actually a boost from Soren makes it work at the Crater Maker 3 days too late, unfortunately. Quite a cast time on that one, and Josh wins out, getting credit for that point. That was a whole lot of excitement already.
Yeah, it is looking like it's going to be a really good game for the start with. We are already 3 points in. It does not feel like we are 3 points in, at least to me. Maybe I missed like I blacked out. Maybe I was yapping too much about like one of them, as HMG here do claim a barrier for themselves, and they got to be a little careful because NXCD and Katsuna are both going to have flipped very, very soon, and that is a bit of a scary spot to be in.
Yeah, almost gets Snake out of there with the boost whammy combo, but Asher not going far enough. Katsuna maintaining possession of that ball, stolen away by Milkman. A flip on the bottom side here is going to be stuffed there from the barrage just a little bit, as Soren's going to take the speed gate, move up. They're going to push it bottom, sets up an anomaly, but a great clear there from Josh is going to remove any of that pressure Katsuna was building up there. And once again, an anomaly comes through. Everyone kind of misses the ball, but the barrier is safe as it rolls into the hands of Soren once again. Josh and Snake weak once again, and the damage is being sent. Wow, lives with nothing, just a pixel on the board. Katsuna actually not going to go for the direct play onto the barrier, as they let NXCD take the only blade to the world, and it's going to make another power play here for EKC.
Yeah, and it is looking really, really bad for HMG for this point. NXCD's claim to kill. They've got the power play, but NXCD is not able to get involved, so Soren will do it instead. And it's tied up for this first set. We are here for a banger, I think. I think both teams have decided, like, okay, we figured it out. This is not just, we're not just going to die to EKC over and over again, although that is probably EKC's plan. HMG seems to be dealing with it a lot better than they were last game.
Oh gosh, for how long though? It looks like EKC is just landing as much crossfire as they need, which is just super value. Like, tons of value getting a barrier with your resources and hitting the opposing team. Getting another barrier there, NXCD with that passive. Snake, again, they're just fighting for the ball, hitting Snake while they do it. The barrier goes down, and so does Snake. The power play is on deck here. NXCD and Soren are going to fight from the bottom side as Katsuna is going to block the top. It's kind of interesting to think, but I feel like Luna might be a pretty good matchup into Rasmus, as for the most part, it feels like Rasmus isn't so great in close quarters, and man, does Luna really get in there. And a banish right onto Snake. They try to go for the combo, but not even needed. Katsuna finds it with that banish combo again, and it's EKC is sort of running the show, but not scoring the ball just yet.
Yeah, running the show, but, you know, it is still a two-team show as the damage piled on. HMG has survived for now. NXCD taken off by Josh's barrage, and Josh has to be careful, but they will claim a barrier before. And with the the beam barrier, but you know what I mean. The Asher stuffs it in. And it's a really important set to win because that means this Kai gets something. And Kai just needs a little bit to be able to really, like, outmaneuver these ranged threats, notably the Luna.
Yeah, I feel like the entire time I was just like, wow, EKC, yeah, they got it. And then boom, HMG takes it. Kai, first pick here. Josh grabbing the adrenaline rush, possibly denying it, but it's not pretty solid. Still get 1 second off of these cooldowns. Yeah, actually, Fight or Flight's so good for NXCD here as they are staggering the opponents, or shattering the opponents. That's the actual term, chat. I'm pretty sure it's shattering. Anyway, getting your... Look, he even says stagger an enemy. I swear it's shattered. But anyway, getting your secondary back will be able to combo even more with that situation. Soren, of course, extra special is going to be absolutely nuts. Milkman, extra pressure here from the goalie with team player. Love that. Sort of like an alternate win condition as they're going to get a huge banish combo. Snake almost killed immediately. Now down to 20% health. Even taking some more damage walking into the anomaly there, but not completely shattered just yet. They're going to fight the bottom side. They do get it through. They get it done. The power play shows up. Josh just getting smashed as it's trying to fight for the ball. Almost a nice double there from Milkman. The angle looked decent, but it's not going to work out just yet as Josh is just being knocked all over the board. A lot of cooldowns, though, being spent, kind of absorbing it and living. Just decent situation there for HMG, at least for Milkman. To try to hold the line here, though. A flip, it's going to be close. It's going to be a save there as well. Not close enough, as HMG is really just holding the line here. They're surviving with a thread.
Yeah, and Josh, good save by Soren means the barrage is actually not quite where you would like. Pass splitter will put it in, though. Katsuna does not have a strike. Yeah, that's a fair reaction, Soren. I agree. You know, it's okay. It happens, but that does mean HMG claimed the first point in a point that really felt like they were on the back foot for quite a while. It really does feel like these like kickoffs happen, and we can see Josh or Snake just get nuked, and they have to play this like game where they survive. Maybe not survive the kill, but survive the round.
Nice redirect there. No, I totally agree with that one. I mean, even the second you said it, Josh, was that basically nothing. Oh, they find a kill and get off that I forget what this thing called, the recovery drone. They get that recovery drone off Katsuna, but they once again find a kill onto Josh, who is out here for another 10 seconds, working on getting some of these barriers here. One down at least. Katsuna working on a flip here with the next strike, most likely. The next strike now, most likely. Oh, almost a great angle there from Snake, made it happen, but not going to be close enough here. Does Soren have any cooldowns to deal with Snake? Absolutely not. Going to grab the barrier here with just a strike. Katsuna not flipping. Also whiffing the strike is going to be a rough spot, though. But Snake is like, absolutely, I'll take that one there. Scoring that one for HMG. I mean, interesting game, but HMG is winning out on just about every one of these interactions.
Yeah, and suddenly it's not quite as comfortable as EKC would like, even though I feel like they are piling on the damage, and very often, I mean, look at this situation. How do you look at this and say, yeah, EKC's not like in control of this game? But no matter, you know, it's just not the case. Maybe if they can claim the second barrier, it'll be chill, but they've managed to claim it. NXCD and Katsuna both have a flip to work with. The damage piled onto Josh, and they are just going to bully him out of the way. Milkman unable to save the other side.
Interesting. Nice angle there. Kind of a mix-up not doing the pass. NXCD might have been also ready for the pass if it was coming through, but still kind of knocks Josh out of the way regardless and gets the point. So works out there for EKC. Soren going to boost that one a little bit through. We do have boots on Soren, so no eject button coming out at any moment here. NXCD finally is kind of going to be out of play for a little bit there, but not going to stop taking their eyes off Snake, perhaps. It's going to be close to get them off the board, but NXCD is going to have to hang out for a little while. Katsuna is going to be basically the main baller here. I take it back. NXCD is the hero of the day. Going to end up getting a kill for themselves. Someone's going to take the speed gate to the top side, boost in, get the stun with the whammy, and that'll be it. Point here for EKC. They're looking to grab a set of their own and get some awakenings that'll kill the enemy.
I could have sworn HMG was up 2 points, like 0-2, and then I they score that, or EKC scores that point, and they got the Tempo Melon tech where they duplicate a point. Like, I don't know. They summoned this extra point out of nowhere. It has been wiped from my memory. So the game's a little closer than I thought it was. However, they still do need to actually claim a set for themselves. EKC, that is. As a banish comes out, and I imagine Josh is just dead. There's nothing he can really do about that.
Yeah, it does, take 2 ults. It takes a banish, it takes a pillar, it takes an ult. A decent amount of cooldowns, but you would definitely trade that for an entire kill. So they're going to try to get this barrier here from Milkman, who does actually end up living. Josh has returned here, but Snake could be the next one on the menu. NXCD is certainly eyeing them with, gets the passive there as well. The classic Centauro kill. It's going to work out perfectly. The power play shows up. Milkman is going to knock NXCD out of the way and try to hold the line here, though. Josh is doing a pretty good job. Gets the banish onto the core, onto the Josh, doing some damage. Flip here from Katsuna, absolutely stuffed just about immediately there from Snake. NXCD and Josh fighting over this speed gate. Also got to have some orbs. It looks like Josh is going to not be the winner in this situation, as they don't even have health to deal with here. And the Oni Blade comes through. The passive kind of whiffs a little bit there, but they find the anomaly kill. And now it's a big 2v1 against Milkman. They have it all. Strike, back, forth, pass, in. It's going to be EKC. They got it. Set coming up.
Yeah, and finally, as dire as it was looking for the power plays, Milkman and Josh doing a great job. Also Snake, whenever he gets involved on the defense, they do hold it, but all it takes is one actual power play to find the opening, and that does mean EKC's got some options on the rune. Going to be opting into the bulk up. It makes sense. You just deny the HP. You're playing for your damage. You don't really need to draft anything of yourself, and that is both health awakenings denied. I actually didn't see Reptile. So it's looking like HMG's game just got a lot harder just because you no longer have that stagger scaling to kind of fight back like you would probably like. You got peak performance, but that is only going to go on one person. A little pause means I get to keep yapping about awakenings. Milkman did pick up a little fire up action. Josh goes out a spark, possible spark scaling. Oh, Soren is now AFK. Hold on. Are we ready? And go. Okay, we're going. We're back.
We are back. They're gonna kind of steal a little bit of a barrier there, but I don't know, gray area for AFK players and whatever the heck. So here we go, starting this next point as a little bit there into overtime. 30 seconds extra. Gonna work on getting this barrier on the bottom here. Snake actually, it's funny. Snake is sort of cosplaying Rune right now. Monumentalist hotshot. Oh, big banish is going to probably end the whole point. Good job, Snake. Fantastic work. Honestly, Josh is a perfect bait there for Snake. Snake knew what they were doing. I mean, get that ball right in there. And that's honestly that should be HMG's whole plan, bro. Josh just stands in the speed gate, gets owned, and Snake is just like, yo, Asher, am I right? Duplicate that point.
For sure. I kind of agree. It's a little bit of a joke, though, that is actually a real thing of beating these kill comps is where they dump your forward with damage and then your other forward has a really good opportunity. But they are on the power play defense. Milkman, the flip's good for now, but NXCD's walking up with his, and with 2 more behind him soon, NXCD's actually found a kill with his flip. And suddenly we are back. Another 12 seconds of power play. Why not 36? Oh, the nuke is a little mistimed.
Yeah, not perfect, but a ton of damage still placed onto Josh, who has no energy left. Can't evade, can't do anything except run around into the speed gate. Maybe make it happen here. Got the blazing speed, gonna try to help it through with the barrage, but not long enough. Oh, gonna have to at least cause the flip to be used there. Nice Giga. Okay, setting up an anomaly to hold the line here. Oh, wow, I'm not sure if Soren had a whole lot, but Snake's not going to get their hands on the ball there as the anomaly is set up on the bottom side here. Katsuna and NXT pushing through, not going to flip. Soren gets it past with the boost. NXCD finds a simple strike to get it right through Milkman. Going to hold the line here with the slice and dice. The anomaly going to make things a little awkward for Soren, but nothing they can't handle right now is that Katsuna's going to move up and gets it on through. Milkman probably was moving up to set up a Death's Touch there, but that was a little too fast. The flip is good. Maybe a little extra damage there from the bulk up. Knockback gave that core some speed. It's going to be a pretty even game here right now, if I do say so myself.
It is very even, I would say. It's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. As we're going to see reflected here in this little interaction in the lanes, it just goes between these 2 midfielders while one of them tries to find something. Mostly a cooldown game. NXCD will be the first to find something with a flip and a double barrier.
Yeah, look, Barrage right there. Sometimes it's really hard to deal with Barrage. Such a good move. Of course, this has a pretty long cooldown, but making Kai just that much valuable, much more valuable. Vanish gets the Crater Maker, gets the combo, but going to send Josh onto the other side of the board. Not going to kill them just about instantly, but gets the combo. Man, the fight or flight most likely coming in handy there. Milkman either lagging or has nothing left there. EKC gonna take that point. Man, they get like 2 to 3 kills per point. EKC, I mean, they are making such quick work. It's like kind of astounding.
That is kind of what this team was known for, I would say, kind of being the team that kills you, like not like, and they're not shy about it. They kill you and they enjoy it. Adrenaline Rush might be NXTD's favorite awakening, even if it's got taken from him this time. I think it also got taken from him last round as well.
Soren losing some health there, though. Going for the combo once again. It was well timed. Oh my gosh. Okay, Soren spending just about everything to at least shatter Snake, but not getting the kill. A flip there from NXTD, who's going to go for a most likely an angle off the center there, but doesn't find it. Gets stuffed pretty quickly. Snake completely shattered again. Now going to go for a hit, but doesn't actually have the passive to go combo there. Snake has the barrier beam on board, but Soren nice clearing top. Katsuna taking the goalie position for a second there. Snake could not get their hands on the ball. No barrier is going down. And they are just going to get knocked around a little bit for their trouble. Soren wins out on that interaction there. Once again going for the mega combo. They do land it. Flip from Katsuna. The Milkman can't find their hands on this ball. They can't find the ball in general. EKC going in again with 2 sets over HMG right now. Or I guess 1 set over.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Don't worry about it. And there we go. We've got a spark. Unfortunately, Kai's a little late in the draft, so he might not be able to get his hands on it. But there is still some hope for HMG here, notably with the cooldowns and the peak performance. Heavy Impact drafted by Milkman. Probably denying that, but you know what? They're going to fire back with a spark of strength and say, okay, you deny me, I'll deny your midfielder.
I feel like every set that EKC won this series, Katsuna has been the MVP. Feels like Rune getting the first pick just about every time. Pretty good value there. Gonna get comboed with the stagger there nicely. Still in the way that spark you said there is quite nice, but Josh gets rapid fire. Yeah, that's pretty strong. We'll see how valuable it is. Doing some damage over to Josh on the top side, trying to get the Giga through. Maybe the assistance of that pillar actually helped it on out, but they have a lot of pressure there onto Soren, who doesn't have a whole lot to deal with right now. Josh gonna have to get out of the play there. Milkman trying to hedge by taking one of their own barriers, sending it down, but it doesn't seem to work out perfectly. Katsuna's gonna keep the ball forward. Everyone's stunned or lagging or something. We're just gonna let that one go in. And EKC taking another point. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. It just feels strange, but the points, the games shall continue.
It feels a little bit like, you know, it's always hard to say whenever you're playing in damage. It could be a lot of things, but it feels like a little bit of, nerves, almost. Like, we're not really, like, giving the damage picks the respect that, like, they need. Like, we're kind of, like, trying to force every touch, and it doesn't really feel like we're forfeiting many of them, which is sometimes what you just need to do into these heavy damage picks. Snakes finally found himself a kill. Giga Blast is not going to find Katsuna, even if it did, though. He's got the recovery drone, and that means the power play for HMG, actually. Not something we've said very often this round.
Yep, Snake not going to flip there, though. Was believing that they could sink it, but they are going to do a whole lot of damage to Snake, who's going to knock Katsuna off, gets the flip right in front, and they're going to end up scoring it. I just, it feels like every few seconds Milkman is playing on 200 ping or something. I'm not entirely sure exactly. Take a gander at Milkman every couple of seconds there, and we'll see what's up. But picking up another point there, HMG gonna try to get another set here to make it so EKC can't just stomp this one. Not entirely through. HMG certainly is playing for their playoff seed. They do have a pretty good chance of making it on in there. Snake also just about no health. They can't find a shatter just yet. NXTD is probably trying to work on getting this fight or flight going. They do actually get it, but not the combo onto Snake, as Milkman is going to keep that one alive up there. Soren blocking up top, yep, and then gonna get a kill and a banished kill as well, and EKC's are running the house once more.
Yeah, and with the flip from Milkman, does claim a barrier, but I don't think it's going to matter unless Milkman decides that he wants to win this round. In XCD, the flip is, the flip's good for one, but it was looking really good. Milkman almost managing to find both the barrier and the goal. Fortunately, it is really, really hard to find anything more. Like, you're already doing a lot with just those two.
Yeah, they're going to get the ball right through Milkman that time, though. First barrier down for HMG. Bottom side down to Milkman. Kitsune and NXT have a pretty good spot there, but they can't find the possession of the ball as Josh is going to barrage the one onto the top. Once again, a banish finds its way onto Josh. Lots of damage through the anomalies, but that leaves Katsune with just about no cooldowns to help this ball through the final barrier, but it does allow NXCD to get a little bit of fight or flight action going. Get some cooldowns from that secondary. Katsune is going to try to get it through Snake here, though. Soren's going to move up, uses the anomaly to block the barrier, which will keep that one going. Snake, no cooldowns left, and a kill onto Josh once again is going to result in a pretty staggering power play for EKC as Katsune trying to make something cheeky happen there, but they're not going to find it as Josh returns to the board. A flip once again, stuffed instantly by that barrier beam. One of the better moves to be stuffing flips in general. And let's see if they can get NXCD on off the map for their power play.
Yeah, lots of resources coming out. NXCD is staggered, but a flip means he's actually alive for now. Snake probably does not long for this world, if I had to guess. An unstable anomaly is actually going to be the one to claim the pillar, or claim the barrier. Snake does find a barrier, and in a power play for HMG, means that they could get this point in if they're careful. Soren's up, and without an eject button to get back, Snake will sink it in. And suddenly, HMG is back in contention for like possibly winning this set and keeping this series going.
And they are not giving up just yet. It is so funny to watch Katsune. They'll just block off the speed gate so they can get themselves in there, making it so Josh can't have that big pressure, which is understandable. Lots of energy showing up here for HMG. They're only a few seconds off of having a triple flip situation here, though, as Snake does find the barrier. Okay, we got Josh flipping nicely. Okay, gets the strikes, but Katsune does use the anomaly to keep it up. Okay, NXDD is going to only blade that one with no health. It's up to Katsune here. NXDD does move up, though. Not far enough to take any of these barriers. Milkman truly is just holding the line here, though. Down to Snake. Gets the anomaly, but a nice reinforcement there. It's going to keep the barriers up still. Soren is now passing it over to the Shadow Swap. They're going to try to squeeze it through, but Snake finds the grand strike of all time to make it happen. No cooldowns needed other than a little bit of a barrier beam. No flip for Soren, as it seems that HMG really does have their chance. Let's see what they can get.
I've got a couple options here. Notably, I'm looking at Catalyst, which recently got buffed. However, there are options. You could also go Tempo Swing if you would like that. That could help survive. It is going to be the Tempo Swing. Now, Rune has an option here. It is going to be denying the Spark, which I think is correct. Josh's primary, that Barrage, is like, it feels like it's on like a 6-second cooldown or something with the Rapid Fire, the Adrenaline Rush giving it 1 second, the Spark of Focus giving 14. Kai has a lot of barrages this game, and the only real scary thing I'm worried about for EKC draft, I guess for HMG, is that this Stinger and Explosive entrance on Zentaro and Luna is going to be a lot of damage, and immediately we can see the impact.
Yeah, once again slain. Josh can't find the board anymore. Reinforcing that strike there. Katsune tries to make it happen. Big old Milkman gets that strike through, and that's to keep the top barrier up. So they're gonna fight it on through Katsune. Snake can't find that orb as the anomaly is standing on it, but gets pushed right into it and actually totally unshattered from that. So thank you so much, NXCD, for keeping Snake alive for the rest of our life. Katsune getting kind of smashed out of here with that Path Splitter. They're gonna go for once again another combo, and wow, finishes it off with a boost. Man, they needed it all, but they did actually get it. Gets the barrier with the Slice and Dice, flips for another one, dealing a whole lot of damage to Milkman, but not grabbing the second barrier. Soren's going to actually end up backing up a little bit. They almost have flip to go with it as well. Same with Katsune. A lot of energy building up there for Josh as well, and Milkman can make this happen too with a flip of their own. Team player now in overtime. Wow, I feel like I haven't really said that yet, but all of a sudden in this specific set, I'm noticing team player could be coming in handy, probably because his teammates were kind of dead the entire game. But we'll see if we can get some team player action going there.
For sure. Snake finding that first barrier for HMG and coming into this corner very low. He'll find a second, but now he needs to survive or buy Josh an opening. And with the core flips coming out, he's unable to win the strike for him. That means that suddenly HMG's actual offense is looking a little harder unless Milkman can keep railgunning these red speeds up.
Great redirect there from NXCD after using that secondary. Ball's going quite fast now. A big banish onto Josh, but no pillar anomaly to go with it. And Snake is just beating the crap out of Soren, but they do find a way to keep the ball in front of Snake and not let them get their hands on it. Stunned, but Milkman does get the strike off. Josh moving up as far as they can with no health, and they get it through with the anomaly. Core speed a little too fast for Milkman to react there. EKC advantage in this final set here, though.
Yeah, and if suddenly something happened, we got a lot more core speed. It might actually be Milkman's glass cannon. They didn't really talk about it in the draft because, you know, glass cannon, I feel like one of those things you don't really talk about too much. But then you really start to notice the red speeds and the damage and like, where is this coming? It's glass cannon. That's where it's coming from.
Definitely helps a lot as long as you're not being kind of smashed. And Milkman really isn't being hit all that much. Josh and Snake are the main kill targets, and I don't think they're going to be switching anytime soon. Nice barrier beam there from Snake to redirect the core, hold it, and stun Soren as well. Great work. The anomaly almost takes it from Milkman. Josh is there to help it on through. Not a lot of health onto Josh, though, as we do see that they did steal all the stagger perks there. EKC, as the final barrier does go down. Katsuna is going to fight it through with NXCD. Snake, he actually ends up avoiding that banish. Josh has this flip, but the Path Splitter's through, and man, with the assist, the Giga Blast just stuns upon stuns. HMG finds it and keeps this flip from Josh. Snake working on one of their own, and HMG might be able to sneak this one out. I feel like, again, it's just been a game where I was just like, wow, EKC, 45 kills, that's incredible. But HMG's still in this, like, by a lot.
Yeah, but NXCD, ooh, a little anxious trying to hit the... NXCD loves his little Zendaro clips. I am glad to see that we are going for one. Not going to work out, but you know what? You claimed a double barrier, so can you really be upset? Like, you're at that point, you're being a little greedy, you know? Like, you're anything more, or it's just extra.
Yeah, but still, 2 barriers. Fantastic work. And both shattered, though. Actually, EKC is now on the back line. As, well, they do find a kill. Now they're very much on the front line. And completely unshattered as well. Katsuna has this flip. Might be able to make it on through. Josh and Milkman are not going to flip either until Josh gets at least a little closer or has the assistance of Snake to make it happen. The anomaly is going to block Soren for just a moment. They're not going to be too interruptive. Josh, man, trying to move up, ends up flipping a little farther than they wanted to, but it's just every time Josh moves up, they get kind of smashed. Katsuna and NXCD are just keeping the pressure on. Huge combo again, banish, Crater Maker, and that'll send them out of here. Whoa, found a kill onto Milkman. NXCD gonna walk it on through, no problem. Catastrophic moment where Milkman, I guess, was just a little too big and a little too close to the edge.
Yeah, and suddenly HMG's not looking nearly as comfortable as they once were. Constant and Soren with a core flip and a barrier off the bat. And I mean, we've seen how these points play out. If it's just a point that plays out like normal, where the damage comes out, it favors EKC for the first like 30 seconds of the round.
They find a kill on to Katsuna, which will at least relieve some pressure that Josh is experiencing right now, although NXCD is certainly the main killer here for the most part, but Soren is not going to make their life any easier, helping deal that damage and stopping them from regenerate with the whammy, with the boost. They're doing some great passing plays as they hold this final barrier. NXCD and Katsuna try to break it on through. A banish going to be avoided pretty easily. Josh, they got their eyes on Josh. You can pretty much see NXCD sharking as much as they can as the Giga comes through. It doesn't make it happen, but Katsuna is now completely shattered, and NXCD is low. Again, a situation where HMG could squeeze it on through, but boy, there's a flip really close. Great angle, but Josh has the defense there with the flip. Crater Maker comes out, whips completely. Josh trying to get involved, but boy, is it dangerous. NXCD from across the board, that explosive entrance like you mentioned earlier, but now we have team player. A 2v1 situation could occur, and now it's definitely just a power play for EKC. Catastrophic moment. Will they be able to clean it up?
Yeah, Milkman's got a flip to work on. Snake finding a kill, and suddenly HMG, if they can find something, that flip is not the something we're looking for. But with Josh backed up, there is still time if they just can find one thing. But Rune and Luna are quite volatile characters that will just make something happen out of what seems like nothing, as EKC gets involved here, and this is scary, but core flips have bailed them out. Suddenly, we're back to a somewhat neutral playing field.
Yeah, big benefits if you can get flips out with just one ult, and that's kind of what NXCD was looking to do. And a lot of pressure showing up. Snake right on the front, and I mean, just the threat of Snake being there and winning an interaction causes Soren to have to flip there, understandably. Gets a banish kill once again. Gets it through Milkman, can't find it, and that's it. EKC takes the series over HMG, which is... that's just gonna ruin HMG's playoffs a little bit, but EKC's happy. I mean, look at them go. 2 wins for EKC, 2-6 right now.
Yeah, and that felt like, well, we'll see the stats. I'm sure it's a bloodbath for EKC. Oh my god, it's more than I thought. 31 KOs. The word of, or like the phrase of the series, if anybody's interested, is power play for EKC. Because holy Jesus, they are DPSing. It really felt like, even though it's a set 5.5, it really did feel like EKC were just in constant power play after power play after power play after power play. Zen's looking really strong this patch.
Yeah, I agree that Zen is kind of a good pick. We got 63,000 damage on a 30-minute game, which is a lot. Strikes, though, on Katsuna, I mean, kind of immortal in, like, all scenarios. MVP all 3 sets there that they won. Katsuna just had their hands on the ball every second, slipping it right into the pocket of NXZD when they needed to. And a lot of those power plays. And Milkman did a pretty good job of holding in some of those 2v3s. I mean, we see, I mean, you could just look at the redirects there from HMG, and it's like, yeah, these two guys were dead most of the time, and the goalie was the only one left striking the ball at 345 there, almost matching Katsuna, who was just all over the board. I mean, that's what you could expect from, like, well-played Rune. Can really just teleport left and right, switch lanes instantly, and it's just such good gameplay from Katsuna. And as a whole, EKC played pretty phenomenally. I mean, game 1 barely existed. I mean, we were forgetting points that even happened. I mean, nice quick one, and then they finish it in a nice set 5 fashion over HMG, which really great try there from them. They were so close to just bringing it back into a game 3, but yeah, I don't know. It was close. What could you say? It was literally close. They had a good shot.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it was just a close close set 5. EKC claiming it. That does mean HMG is looking a little dire. For playoff contention. EKC, this win does not realistically mean anything. I'm sorry for EKC fans. I don't think there's a way EKC finds their way back in unless the stars align. But we are going to cut to a break, and we'll return for our second match of the day. If I am correct, I believe that is Bombardiers versus Polar Cortex.
Yep.
Right? Okay, perfect. Stick around for that. We will be right back.